quite the day. Um, After doing a live stream this morning for 35 minutes, they did a damn near 6 hour live stream all about me. Well, it was about Isaac, and they were playing it, but it was completely focused on me for over 5.5 hours. Daniel Doud, who has a mugshot for molesting a child, entitled it, "I'm not a felon, but David Shurter is going to be," or something like that. So he's threatening me, you know? If they have crimes on me, why aren't the police at my door? But I don't think that's the case. I think they're doing everything they can to try and set me up. And now they're right in here. After 5.5 hours, now they're back in here. They just live on their computer. It's all about me. I live in their heads. That's what ends up happening, is I live in their heads. But it's okay, because after this, I'll just start blocking their accounts. Pretty easy. Pretty simple solution. My question is, did they do to Issac Kappy what they've been trying to do to me? And if so, how many other people have they done it to? And what I found gratifying in their 5.5 hour live feed this afternoon was that they were all in there, in the chat. They're all a group. Obviously, they were all in there. And so it's kind of interesting because it just shows that they're a group and that they gang stalk people. They're saying that Issac Kappy committed suicide. So my question is simple. Did they do to him what they've been doing to me? Because they have just... Daniel Doud and Farnsworth do not like the fact that they danced around, saying that the thing about it is that Daniel Doud started the night before I found out Owen was dead. And Gio posted his video saying, "Poor David," the night before. And then it just got worse. And police have all of this. Police have all of it. My investigators have all of it, because I just forwarded all of the emails. And no, Gio Farnsworth did not email me. He posted on YouTube. And I took a screenshot and showed them that he was in Harlem. How many people have they targeted in order to make those people commit suicide? It's a simple question. I mean, they're pretty unabashed about it. They jump around and dance around, and that's what they do. So how many people have they done this to? How many people have they targeted and pushed them to commit suicide? If Isaac committed suicide, and that's their contention, Isaac committed suicide, did they do what I have documented in the last 7 months to Isaac to push him over the edge? And how many people have they done this to? And they're all a group. I mean, it was great because I was able to get screenshots of a bunch of it. I just have people who just send me shit all the time. And I went in there and posted a thing because for me, I started speaking about Issac Kappy, not because I wanted to get it investigated, but because I was told to talk about Isaac. Open up comments. Isaac was my friend. He had an effect on my life. But the minute I started talking about it, this whole group descended upon me. Now they're back in here. They were online for 5.5 hours, not to mention the 35 hours of mine. And now here they are once again. Because they live on the computer. They stalk me. Obviously they do. They can come in within minutes of me even doing a live feed. Even though they were on the computer for 5.5 hours on their own live feed. They stalk and they harass. They're trying to push people to just commit suicide. That's what they do. They stalk people and then they do all kinds of fucked up shit to them to shut them up. That's how it works. You know? Again, had I not gotten the emails from Pootie Twang and Captain posting his shit, you know, Geo Farnsworth, if he hadn't posted his shit on YouTube and put my name to it, that's how I saw it, was that he mentioned me. He wanted me to see it. Were they in town? You know, I think they were. My day was amazing too. It has been a really good day. The thing about it is, but I noticed that you're no longer going under chicken hawk, Daniel. They stalk people and they try to push them over the edge, just like they were trying to do to me. Tara Joyce was in there. They're talking. The screenshot that I got from the stuff that Daniel Doud showed me, they talk about Brett Trimble. First thing that came in the screenshot, I really loved it because I just sent that to investigators too. It connects them all as a group. They all work in conjunction with each other. They're not enemies. They work in conjunction with each other. And the shit that they do is the same kind of shit that Spencer dude was doing with his Nazi bullshit. It's the exact same thing. But Daniel Doud, who has the mugshot for molesting a kid, is threatening me that I'm going to be a felon. So how are they going to try and set me up? Obviously, they're going to try and set me up. He titled a whole video that's 5.5 hours about it. You know, what are they planning on doing? Because obviously they're planning on doing something, you know? And so it's just kind of interesting, their group, because they do it out in the open, thinking that nobody can actually point it out. Like everyone's fucking stupid and they're the ones who are smart. And they aren't. I mean, they aren't. The whole thing, I was able to send it to my sheriff. I was able to send it to all my investigators because I don't trust my sheriff. I have him up against a wall because of that gas station explosion. Because that gas station, the official police report, and they can't change that official police report, because if that official police report changes, there are people who are already wanting to go to their insurance companies because the insurance company screwed them over. And it's gotten into a situation, and now they're just in here gang stalking me again. They were online for 5.5 hours within a minute or two of me doing this video, and now they're all back in here. I probably should take a screenshot. There you go. Pushing the wrong buttons. They will do what they can. So that is my question. Did they do to Issac what they're doing to me? It's a valid question. And if they did do to Issac what they're doing to me, how many others have they done this to? How many other people have they targeted and done this to? That's the question that I have. Because they do it out in the open. They don't give a shit who sees it, obviously. Here they are, you know? And it's interesting how it works. They have Nazi behaviors, and they go out and attack people with the full intention of hurting them. That's the reason why, if this is the case, I think I have more of a valid point of finding out if they were in my town. See, I don't have my glasses, so I can't see anything. All I can see is the names. I can't read anything. And I'm not going to read because I ain't going to get distracted this time. I'm not going to get all irritated. I've had a really good day. I don't give a shit what they have to say. You know, all I'm pointing out is that they are totally focused on me. They are stalking me online, in real life. They call my phone. They do nothing but harass and try to push me over the edge. Trying to get my disability would have pushed me over the edge. You know, didn't work. But again, how many people have they done this to? How many people have they targeted? And don't think that they'll stop with me. They'll just continue on. I mean, they didn't stop with Issac, but I find it interesting that I do my live feed and all of a sudden they're doing a 5.5 hour to play all those CDs, which is bizarre to me. How many suicides have you ever heard of where the police have a deluxe 2 CD set to go along with the suicide? It is almost as if they anticipated that people wouldn't believe it. And so they had all of this stuff formulated, and now they have a deluxe 2 CD thing to actually give people so that they can actually, you know, it's almost planned out to a point where it doesn't even make sense. How many suicides have you seen this happen for? I've never seen it happen. Never. And yet Issac has, you know, the CDs, I guess, have autopsy photos. And I don't understand. I thought that Corey Daniel, Phoenix Enigma, was the one who did all of this investigation. That's what I've been told over and over and over. That's why Phoenix Enigma, Corey Daniel keeps telling me, oh, you need to reach out to me and ask me because of my investigation, blah, 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 blah. But is it his investigation on those deluxe 2 CDs? Issac Kappy was trying to bust a pedophile ring. The same shit that Jeffrey Epstein was connected to. It just seems like more of the same to me. Not only am I not convinced with this deluxe 2 CD thing, it is so weird, it doesn't even make sense to me. It doesn't even make sense. And then they are upset. Daniel Doud and Geo Farnsworth, had they not gone out of their way to take credit for Owen, I would have never come to that conclusion. I would have just thought, well, Owen was older. He had just had hip surgery, And so well, obviously there are CDs. I just read the thing. Obviously there are CDs. That's what you were playing. I mean, I listened to a little bit of it, and then I typed in the whole thing because I just wanted you guys to know that for me, this is not about Issac. I'm not trying to get Issac investigated. I have never reached out to any of the investigators for Issac Kappy. I haven't done any of that. What it is for me is that Daniel Doud and Geo Farnsworth went out of their way to make me think that they were in my town when Owen Winger dropped over dead. Before I even knew he was dead. And I want it investigated. I want those emails looked at from Pootie Twang. I want to know who was sending me those emails the night before I found out about Owen. And if they're connected, which I know they are now, they just spent 5.5 hours in a live feed all together. You know, it's not hard to figure, and they were all talking to each other. So obviously they're all together, you know? And I think that the reason why they come in here a minute after I start posting is because they're trying to actually push. The, they are trying to protect a child trafficking ring. Notice how it was all about Issac, but they never talk about, they never try to expose what Issac was trying to expose. They never go further than that. It's all about Issac, and Isaac's dead. That's what today's 5.5 hour thing was, to convince everybody that Issac Kappy committed suicide. But they never talk about what Issac was trying to expose, what I've been trying to expose. And they're doing to me what they've done to so many other people because I'm trying to expose their shit, and I won't be quiet. And that's how it works. You know, that's how it works. And what they don't realize is that I have people in here right now that I reached out to watch the conversation. Because today has just been an amazing day. To be able to actually put them all in a group and show that they were working together and that they have been working together was key. That was the one thing that people were having a hard time wrapping their heads around. And so today I showed it. Actually, they showed it. That's what ended up happening. They showed their hand. Like I said, there's no one who can make them dance around like fucking monkeys in heat better than me. Thank you, Otis. I did read because it was a big long thing. I don't think that they're laughing, Otis. I think that they're desperate to shut me up. That's the reason why I did that live feed, and it couldn't have been more than 45 minutes, and they were doing their 5.5 hour feed. And the reason I know that is because Tara Joyce was on top of it. And I was sitting watching television today, and I just checked my mentions. Sometimes I check it, sometimes I don't. But today I didn't have shit to do. I didn't feel like doing anything. And so I just sat around and watched television and played on my phone. And it was interesting. What they did, what they've been doing to me, what I have documented in the last 7 months is exactly what they did to Issac Kappy. Exactly what they did to Nathan Stoltman. Exactly what they did to so many others. And they do it unabashedly. They don't even think that anyone even notices. And that's why they're mad at me, because I point it out. I show it. I'm not Issac. I'm not going to... I get them to show their stuff. That's the reason why I don't have moderators in here, because I want their conversation to be scrolling. I want people to see it. Without a doubt, I want people to see it. Just like now. I did this live video. I started it. Within 2 minutes, those idiots were in here. Even though they were on live video, their live video for hours upon hours today. Damn, it's almost 6 hours. And the words, "they doth protest too much," come to mind, because they are just frantically trying to prove me wrong, prove me out to be a liar. See, I'm not even reading. I just saw something about tunnels. Nope. That's why I'm not reading this shit anymore. You know, I can see the people I don't want to read. I can see them there. I get my eyes. They're not so bad. I can see it. And so I just don't read it, because I know that this game of distraction, and I know that they're trying to get me distracted and to talk about what they want me to talk about. And I'm not interested in talking about what they want me to talk about. I went into Doud's toxic masculinity almost 6 hour David Shurter extravaganza just to post in the comments, I put the post of a video that I made and then took a screenshot of it so I could send it off to my sheriff and my investigators so they could see that I sent it to them. Because I'm not gonna, but they just go on and on and on. And why? Because they're involved with child trafficking. That's what they're so afraid is going to get exposed. That's why they need me to shut up. Obviously, they're trying to set me up since Doud's whole video is, I'm not a felon, but David Shurter is gonna be. Well, I'm 57 years old. I've never spent a night in jail. How the fuck do you think that's gonna happen? I don't do anything that would get me into trouble. I'm a pretty boring person. I kind of like that. I like being boring. But obviously they're trying to set me up. They're just bragging about it. Just like they were bragging about Owen dying the night before I even knew that Owen was dead. That's the reason why I want those emails that Pooty sent me, because if they find out that Pooty is Daniel Doud, then the conversations that they were sending me on my phone, that can get looked at. And I would be willing to bet that law enforcement and investigators can find their real phone numbers. They can find their real phone numbers and see if their cell phone pinged off. Because you can't tell me that they were here and didn't use any cell phones. They didn't use it. They're not bright enough to do that. They used their cell phones. It's going to be pretty easy to ascertain if they were in town. And they said they were in town. So I'm not doing anything other than going off what they themselves said. I don't give a shit if it was trolling. Now, of course, they're going to lie because they're making an issue out of it. Because if they were in town when Owen dropped over dead, that easily, if it gets proved, could go to a murder charge. Because what other reason would they be in my town? Owen drops over dead. They say they're in my town. I didn't see him. Did they have people that they had to? And I don't think that Daniel Doud and Geo Farnsworth lived together. So they met together here in Omaha and then came here. And they're just mad because they went out of their way to make me think that. And now that I'm calling it out and wanting it to be investigated, they're having a fit. I mean, a fit to where they will have a 6-hour extravaganza all about Issac Kappy. But for me, it's not about Issac Kappy. It's about Owen. It's about Owen Winger. That's how I'm going to prove this shit. That's how I'm going to prove it. And I'm pushing to have it done. Because I have stuff that has gone on in town that I could already take the town to court for. And they know it. They know I have those videos of Derek Yamada and his deputy and the person they were trying to set me up with the protection order. It's the same shit that happened in Algona when Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, that's the other thing too. Notice how they never talk about Lucian Greaves. They never talk about that satanic after school daycare. They're supposed to be champions for Issac Kappy. But they don't talk about anything that Isaac was trying to get investigated. Nothing. That's why I call them the Dead Issac Kappy Club. Because they're the Dead Issac Kappy Club. They only talk about Dead Issac Kappy. Dead Issac Kappy on the bridge, Issac Kappy on the road, Issac Kappy at the hotel, Issac Kappy in his truck, Issac Kappy, it's all Dead Issac Kappy. That's all they're invested in when Cappy went to Arizona and then went off that bridge. That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. That's all they talk about. The whole 5.5 hour, 6-hour video that they had that has me in the title, that's all it was Dead Issac Kappy shit. That's all it was, And so, the funny thing about it is that Geo Farnsworth was involved with this whole Famalam thing. They all knew even more than what I did, what Issac Kappy was involved with, but they haven't taken it any further after Issac Kappy died. Don't you find that a coincidence? isn't that kind of an interesting coincidence? Because Geo Farnsworth is the one who told me that he has all of the keystrokes. And so he, of all people, if he has all the keystrokes, everything that was said, he would know, wouldn't he? I mean, it wasn't like Issac was quiet about what he was investigating. He was doing videos like I do, you know? And so it's just kind of sad. And again, they're in here trying to shut me up. I know you guys are arguing with them, but the whole thing about it is I don't believe in coincidences anymore either. Coincidence can happen. But when one coincidence follows another coincidence, 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 those aren't coincidences. That's a pattern. And patterns are not coincidental. And things don't live in a vacuum. You know? They want to tell you that one thing has nothing to do with another thing and has nothing to do with another thing and has nothing to do with another thing. And yet common sense will tell you that doesn't even make sense. You know? And so keystrokes. He has all keystrokes. So everything that was typed, all keystrokes. Every letter, every word, every sentence, Geo Farnsworth says he has. So this whole Famalam thing, you know? And from what I can tell of this whole Famalam thing, it was them. It's this collection of people that are obviously working as a group. They just showed that this afternoon. They were all together in a damn near 6-hour chat of a live video that Daniel Doud did. They're all together, conversing, talking, just, you know, and yet I would be willing to bet, and this is what I sent when I sent my sheriff and all of that, what I sent them was, I bet they don't mention even a word of what Issac was trying to investigate. They don't even talk about what Issac was involved with at all. It's like Issac wasn't doing anything. He was just living his life, didn't have anything going on. And then all of a sudden, he came alive to jump off a bridge. But then their shit never makes sense because Aquino killed himself 3 years ago and then I guess resurrected himself because then he just killed himself again just recently. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you kill yourself 3 years and then 3 years later you kill yourself again. I don't understand how that works. I've never heard anything like that. Just like I've never heard of anything. I've never heard of a suicide having a deluxe 2 CD set that goes along with the suicide. For $100, you can have everything Dead Issac Kappy, because it's all on a deluxe 2 CD set for $100. You know? Overkill. The word overkill comes to mind. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it makes sense to a lot of people. I've never heard of something like that. And I do not, again, find it coincidental because Daniel Doud and Geo Farnsworth did not like our conversation this morning. They didn't. They think that if they're dickheads and they say mean things and just threats and all of that, that I'm not going to respond and react. And that's not how this works, you know? And see, Captain, I say that I read paragraphs and then I see you write a paragraph and I could give a shit less what you have to say. So I'm not reading anything. The police work with your group. Obviously, they work with your group. Perfect example, that gas station explosion in Erling, Iowa. The police report says there was one explosion. But Dan was able to get out of the gas station, go back into the gas station, get his brother-in-law, then get them both out before the second explosion leveled the place. But you got my sheriff to lie about it. Obviously, it's on the police report. You know, everyone around here knows about it. And not only that, but whatever they were pushing Deputy Donovan to do, and Deputy Donovan was the deputy they were using to go after me with the dogs in Erling, he committed suicide a week and a half before. I don't think that's a coincidence either. I think that they have been pushing really hard to try and close me down. And I think that God has been right beside me, protecting me. Because God knows I'm not going to stop. Because children matter. Children matter. And I am only going by what Geo Farnsworth and Daniel Doud went out of their way to tell me over and over and over and over. They were in town when Owen Winger dropped over dead. And they thought it was funny. But now I'm making an issue out of it. And so, so they're not the people I've been calling out. So who are those people? See, those names never come up. Another group, it's always this arbitrary, it's a secret group. We can't mention their names. But the very people that are here, that are doing the shit to me, they're right here. I can show that this is the group doing it to me. So if they did it to me, how many other people have they done it to? It's a good question. Did they do it to Issac? There are other people who supposedly committed suicide. Did they do it to them? Is this the shit they did to Nathan Stoltman that drove Nathan Stoltman into a mental hospital? I bet it is. I bet it's the exact same shit. And what they'll tell you is, it wasn't our group, it's some other group. Some other group that we can't name, you know? And so it's just, dude, you're such a dumbass. I did read that. What do you think that fucking thing is, huh? Fucking dickhead. If you guys just, you know, the Nathan Stoltman LARP, that's right. That's right, Geo Farnsworth. Everything that gets brought up with your bullshit is a LARP. You're the only truth teller. You're the one who actually is the only believable one. You're the one who is just so upright and upstanding, and everyone else is pieces of shit. That's what your contention is. And yet you have a fucking criminal record. Nathan Stoltman doesn't have a criminal record. I don't have a criminal record other than the fucking thing in the park 20 years ago, where it was all a set up deal. They were setting up gay guys. And it's funny because that dude would have seriously fucked me had he just waited one more minute, because I was about ready to light that joint. But that's all you guys have. Daniel Doud will go on and on and on about that thing in the park, but he has a mugshot for molesting a fucking kid. And so I just don't take what they have to say seriously. I really don't care, because investigators and police can type in my name and see what my record is. And then they can type in all of their names and see their records. And let me tell you, their records are way, way more extensive than mine even would hope to be. Way. Which is why they're in here fighting as a group. Like I said, they were online for 6 hours. You would think on a Memorial Day. And Geo Farnsworth, don't you have kids? Where are your kids when you are living online? You know? You go on and on about how you're a father, but you obviously don't have any time for your kids because you're too busy in here dealing with me. It's kind of weird, you know? It is kind of weird. It's like that mom on YouTube that was supposed to be the parenting thing, and now she went to jail for child abuse. You know? This is the kind of weird ass shit that happens. I'm sorry, but I'm not reading any of the conversation. I know that there are people who are talking, but I can't, no. Children are disappearing. This is a child trafficking ring. That's what I'm trying to expose. Children are already involved. Children are already involved. And I'm not bringing his kids in. I don't even know what his kids, I don't even know what he has. I know that he says that he's a father, but he's been in here all day, and it's Memorial Day weekend. You know, most people are out with their families. That's what ends up happening. They're out with their families, but Gio's not. He's too busy trying to destroy me. That's what that whole thing for the 6 hours was. That's what they're in here right now for. This, and they came in within 2 minutes of me starting this. 2 minutes. They came in. So they're sitting at their computers waiting for me. So don't they have lives? It's a valid question. It's a valid question, I think. You know? Do I have a life? Not really. I'm disabled. I do what the fuck I want. You know? Went out and saw some wonderful people today who enjoy my company. You know? Yes, it's your day off work, so where are your fucking kids, asshole? So you have a day off work, but you live online. You have kids, but here you are. That's the whole thing. You know? Oh, you have a day off work. Oh, well, are your kids your work? Is that what it is? Because if you have a day off work, wouldn't you take that opportunity to go be with your kids? That's what most parents would do. I'm just saying. I don't have kids, but that's what I'm saying. But you live online. Every time, and I don't know what kind of job you have, but you can come in here. Every time I do a video like this, you're in here. So whatever job you have, you can get on live videos and chat. You know, I thought you were a cook. Isn't that what you said? You were a cook? So you cook and you're on the computer at the same time. I've never been able to cook and be on the computer at the same time. But, you know, and this is all shit you've said to me. I'm just going by, because I could give a fuck less about your life. I could give a fuck less. What I care about is that you went out of your way to tell me that you were in town when Owen Winger died. And that's murder. If you were involved with Owen's death, that is murder. And that is the reason why you're in here fighting me so hard. Because it would be a murder charge. Because I personally think that somehow you guys pumped him full of insulin. That's what I figure. You know? That's what I figure. And you had to go out of your way to let me know. And that wasn't a bright thing to do at all. That was not a bright thing to do at all. And so, and they're all focused on you guys because I'm not paying any attention to their conversation. That's the problem. They don't want anyone to actually have any dialogue. They want to control the narrative. They want to control what people say. They want to control how people think. And when that happens, you have to ask yourself why. Why are they so focused? Oh, the murderers will be caught. They will be caught. The whole thing is that I know that the shit about Owen is being investigated. I've already heard. I already know that things are going on because people want me off their ass in town. So I know that it's being investigated. Quietly, I'm announcing it. That's the reason why they never tell me anything. Because I never keep it, you know? Gio Farnsworth thinks that putting some emojis over between murder separates himself from it and makes it less than what it is. That's what he thinks. But it seems desperate to me. It seems desperate to me, you know? And they all work as a group. And I know that now because I saw it today, without a doubt, in their little 6 hour extravaganza all about me. They all work as a group. They were all conversing, and it was all about me. Everything that I took screenshots of, and I was only in there for a couple seconds, was all about me. Oh, dude. So, Captain, you are denying that you posted a video that said Harlan in it. You're telling everyone that I'm lying about Pootie Twang sending me pictures of my town and of my house, and you guys dancing around trying to take responsibility for Owen's death. That's what you guys did. That's the whole reason why when your little thing with the Harlan thing on it, you said, "Oh, poor David," you know, because you were laughing. And again, you put an emoji with it, a laughing emoji. You like those emojis. I think you think that it separates you from your crimes, and it doesn't. You know, it doesn't. And it's all going to come out because they are looking at it because I've made such an issue out of it in town. See, I don't give a shit about your group. I'm not focused on coming and making your group do anything. I don't have to make your group do anything. You dance around like monkeys in heat with me already. Obviously, you'll come into my live video within a minute or two of me even starting it and act like a dickhead and act like dickheads. You know? Thank you. They just, oh my God. And they try to make themselves out to be Christian. That's the funniest thing about it. But the darkness is inside of them. They can't get away from it. There aren't demons after them. They are demons. They fancy themselves demons. They live in the dark and they think it makes them powerful. They think living in the shadows and poking people with sticks and fucking them over in the dark makes them powerful. And so then when I say, well, I've just sent the darkness to you, it's inside of you already, then they're like, oh, no, I rebuke your demons. I rebuke. But all it does is return your own shit to you. The darkness that's inside of you, it can't stop. And obviously you're being controlled by it. Here you are. You know, here you are. You have spent your entire Saturday focused on nobody but me. And I'm sorry, but that amuses me. It amuses me. I think it's funny because it's telling. It's telling. And it's not just telling for me. Other people have seen it as well. They see it as well. I live in your guys' head rent free. Yes, it is coming. It won't be threefold though. Sevenfold. They ain't gonna like it. They don't like it now. Obviously, because here they are, you know, just completely obsessed with me. And they'll spend their entire day focused on me and obsessed with me and talking about me and doing videos with me and then being on my live feed and all of that. But then when you point it out to them, then they say, no, that's not it. No. I'm sorry. I just... And Daniel Doud is so goddamn dumb, he'll fucking come in on that live feed this morning and call himself Chicken Hawk. If I had a mugshot of me molesting a kid, I wouldn't title myself. I wouldn't go around with the title Chicken Hawk. Probably not the brightest thing. You know? Probably not the brightest thing. especially considering what a chicken hawk is. And so it's just, again, they do too many drugs. They do too many drugs. And Captain is just Captain Underpants. You know, he wants me to post. Obviously, he left me a voicemail because he's been wanting me to post it so bad. What he posted a week ago tomorrow, he left it. I just sent it to the cops. I didn't even listen to it. Just like I didn't listen to the shit today. I was only on there for a minute. I just wanted to actually, because I did my own video. Then I wanted to take the link and post it in their chat and then take a screenshot of it, which is exactly what I did. I just wanted police to know that I was letting them know, you know? I just wanted them to know. And it's funny because they were all together. Now they can't even say they're not a group. Tara Joyce can't come out and say, I'm not a group with these people. She was in there today for 6 hours. Obviously, you're a group. And this whole thing of, well, we weren't a group until David Shurter came along. Who are you trying to bullshit? You know? Who are you trying to bullshit? Who do you think is stupid enough to believe your lies? Because the only ones you're convincing is yourselves. Oh yeah, 6 hours under toxic masculinity. That's the thing. You can go type in toxic masculinity. You can see it. Or just go see a couple of my videos today because I took screenshots of it so you can see a picture of it. In fact, I took a screenshot and put it in just a community post so you can see what it is. Because when they started talking that Brett Trimble was government and that was on the top thing, that was golden. That was fucking golden for me. You know, golden. Because you want to know else? You want to know who else was part of the government? Michael Aquino. You know? Oh, Daniel Doud is back as fucking chicken hawk. You know? Because they think that they're just so smart. You know, they just think they're smart. But you want to know what? What I saw in the time that I went in there, not a one of them was smiling. They looked stressed. They looked stressed. Every single one of them. Corey Daniel was in there, and Daniel Doud, and not one of them had a smile on their face. Not one of them was cheerful. They're not cheerful. Do they seem cheerful right now? They don't seem cheerful right now either. They seem like they have their panties in a twist. Of course, Tara Joyce says that she doesn't wear panties, which was vilely disgusting. I will just say that. You know, she had to post that, and that was an image I did not need in my head. Ew. Ew. But, so I have been on here for 48 minutes. Again, I just wanted to come on because I wanted to see if they would come on. After their 5.5 hour, I was sitting there watching Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was on Tubi. And I just thought, you know, I wonder if I do a live video. Because I did one this morning, so I wasn't really wanting to do another one tonight. I just wanted to see what they would do. If they would come in, because I knew that video live feed was over because Daniel Doud sent me a notification. So when I went onto my notification, I realized, oh, it's over. So I wonder, now that it's over, if they would come on to my live feed. Would they spend their entire day focused on me? And they will. You know, they will. It's hilarious. You know, it's hilarious. And the fact that Daniel Doud says that I'm going to be a felon, that's a threat. He actually admits that they're going to try and set me up. So I sent that shit to my investigators and to the police. I was just like, you know, if they have something on me, they should come to the police. But if they're going on YouTube and saying shit, it just means they're planning on shit. That's it. They're just planning on it. Like coming into town and murdering Owen and dancing around and laughing about it. And then when I called them out on it, now they're going to cry like little bitches. And but I will say that I love doing this with these glasses because I can't see any of the conversation unless I choose to. And I can see enough of the names to realize, fuck, I don't give a shit. You know, I'm not going to read their stuff because they really do think that they're going to distract me. And that's the one thing about my training was the adaptability. I learned how to adapt, and I change behaviors. So obviously I can't watch, because what I got tired of is that they were trying to get me off track and angry. And I'm not going to do that anymore. But it shows what they do, because I can see that, fuck, they just post over and over and over and over and over and over. You know, they're just desperately trying to change the narrative where it comes to me. And I can see enough of you in here to realize that it's not working, you know. But I would not argue with these pedophiles, because you ain't going to win. Their arguments are circular. There's no winning to these arguments. It's not about winning. It's about the drama that it creates and spinning it around to try and control the narrative. And that's what it's all about, is trying to control the narrative. You know, the dude who has a mugshot, fucking calling himself Chicken Hawk, but has a mugshot of himself by the police molesting a fucking kid. Probably not the brightest thing. Oh, they're not worth it. See, I can see the people that I want to read, so I'll read your stuff. They're not worth it. They're not. And yet, they are obsessed with me. That's, if anything showed me today, they are obsessed with me. Because now they've just gone from their little 6-hour extravaganza to now they're in here. And it's all about me. Do they go to bed and dream about me? Am I the first thing they think of when they wake up in the morning? Because they're not for me. You know, they're not for me. I try not to think about them. I have to deal with it because I look at my mentions on my YouTube. I've stopped doing that. Today I did it a lot. You know, I didn't have anything better to do. You know, love does win. Love does win. And hate, which is what they are, is going to get fucking claimed. You think they're loving? The conversation that you've just watched in this video, 52 minutes, do they seem particularly loving to you? You know? Does Geo Farnsworth seem like a good parent? So if he's not a good parent to his own kids, why would you think otherwise with other people's kids? You know? Because he's been online all damn day. He was online when I was doing a live video. Then Daniel Doud did his 6-hour extravaganza. Now they're in here now. And when this gets done, they'll probably go do another live video bitching about me. Because that's how this shit works. What I'm going to do is go pour myself a glass of wine and go sit outside and watch the birds. Because the weather it's nice. It's nice. But you want to know what? Since I'm going to get off here, I'm going to pray first. And so, oh, wow. They see their own reflection in you. And they're trying, that's, you know, that's the thing about Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves. My sister went on one day and looked into all of Doug Mesner and all of the stuff that he was doing and saying. And my sister came to me and told me something that I had never even once considered. What my sister told me was the problem that Doug Mesner, aka Lucian Greaves, has with you is that he wants to be you. And he's angry that he can't be you. And I never thought about that. Because being me isn't all that great. Me being me is not, you know, if I had to choose, I might probably not choose me. You know, I might choose, but then again, you can always want to be something that you're not, you know? he wants to, he wanted to take over. My sister was kind of weirded out by it because she was just like, because my sister, her degree, she has her master's in therapy, and so she had a little bit more insight than I would, and of course I wouldn't look at it because I'm personally involved with this. And a lot of times when you get involved with this, dude, you are a molester. I just read what you wrote, Daniel Doud. You are a molester. You have a fucking mugshot of you molesting kids. What the fuck are you talking about? You know? I don't have a mugshot from molesting kids because I don't molest kids. It's just, and that's just it. Thank you very much. It's too funny to see people who weren't even around when Issac was and spew nonsense about people who stood with him, because I stood with Issac. That's the reason why when I started to talk about Issac, Corey Daniel, Phoenix Enigma, and his entire group descended upon me incredibly fast because they knew who I was. And it's interesting, it's interesting that Issac was a good guy and he was trying to expose stuff. And the Dead Issac Kappy Club, all they want you to think is Isaac's whole life was about that bridge and what happened on that bridge. They don't want you to think about what he was trying to expose at all. They don't want you to think about what he was trying to investigate at all. How many times have you seen them talk about that homeless camp in Arizona where those kids were being trafficked? And I know that he was heavily involved with it because Fiona was posting shit. Fiona had so much stuff, her blog is down now. But there was so much stuff and she was working with Issac. They were trying to expose that. How many times have you ever heard these people talk about it? Ever. Ever. Do they ever talk about it? I don't think so. I've never heard them talk about it. They don't talk about anything that Issac, unless it's Seth Green, Oprah, or Tom Hanks. They'll talk about those three. Without a doubt, they'll talk about those three. But nothing else. Nothing else. And Geo Farnsworth, he goes on and on about how he has all the keystrokes. What, you're telling me that Issac was telling everybody else in his Periscope videos, he was telling anyone who would listen to him about this stuff, but this Famalam thing, he didn't say a word. Never said anything in this little Famalam group that they had. Never said a word. Never said a word. And so it's interesting because Daniel Doud was upset because he was in here in a different name, but I called him out for his little chicken hawk. And so this dumbass is like, well, I'll show you. I know that I have I got busted for molesting a kid and they took my mugshot at the cop shop because I molested a kid, but I'll come in and use chicken hawk anyway. Dude, get off the drugs. That's all I can say. Get off the fucking drugs. Because it's cooked your brain. Cooked your brain. The shit you do does not even make sense. And it is not in your best interest. Not in your best interest at all. With that said, I'm going to pray so I can get off here because it's damn near 8 o'clock. I'm only going to have about an hour to sit outside. And I just kind of want to enjoy myself and enjoy the night. I like to go outside and just close my eyes and pray a lot. So with that said, I'm going to pray right now. Father, I come to you. Thank you for showing me the love that you showed me today. I really needed that. This group that works together to conspire to take me down. You allowed me to be able to show without a doubt that they're working as a group today, and I thank you for that. I really do think that you are sending the angels to direct their behavior. And it is like it was said, in the end, they're being deluded. They're deluded by their own bullshit, and they don't see how their actions and what they do affect others. and how other people view them. They don't see that. And I want to thank you for that. And I want you to keep encouraging that, because they can't help but show their true faces. And that's really important. They've hidden in the shadows for so long, and now they're being pulled out of the shadows for everyone to see. And they're doing it willingly. They're doing it willingly. They spent the entire day focused on me. And it's just kind of sad and kind of freaky all at the same time. I just ask that you help guide me, give me strength. I've been having a hard time with Owen. I'm angry because they went out of their way to make me believe that they murdered him. And now that I'm trying to get it investigated, now they want to backtrack and say, oh, we were just trolling him. And, oh, no, we didn't do anything. You don't need to look into anything. You don't need to investigate anything, blah, 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 blah. And it's just more of the same. And I don't want this situation to end up, I don't want Owen to end up like Cappy and Max Spears and Lori King and all of the other people that got lost because of their bullshit. I thank you for having them talk about Brett Trimble in a way that I could get it in a screenshot, because he works for the government, just like Mike Aquino worked for the government. And so their shit is coming out into the light. I ask that you send Cappy to help me. Have Issac help guide me in this. He knows them better than all and than anybody. Help use him to help expose this group, because they really do need to be exposed. They need to be stopped. And that's why I think you told me to start talking about Issac, and that's why you told me to open up comments. You've directed me to do live videos. You have saved me from them over and over and over, and I can't be more thankful. But I do have to say that this is tiring. It's exhausting to deal with. And it's probably exhausting for the people who just are watching on here to watch, because they're the ones who are reading the conversation, you know? I don't, just help bring this out into the light. And I say these things in your son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. So, that's the whole thing. And they'll bullshit, they'll lie, they'll tell you whatever they fucking think will help. But I don't know what this Famalam bullshit was. All I kind of figure is that it was a bunch of goddamn child molesters that Issac infiltrated and was trying to expose, and they murdered him for it. That's my opinion. I think Issac was trying to go undercover. I think he thought that he was completely protected, and he wasn't. And these people will murder anybody. They will try to push anybody over the edge. They try to get me to commit suicide. I'll never do it. I would never do it. I'll live to 1,000,000 just to fucking spite them. That, unfortunately, that is how it works with me, and so I'm just, oh yeah, they use the whole thing about those directed energy weapons. The Air Force went in front of Congress in 2006 and said they had these weapons and that they were going to use them on the American public to show the rest of the world they were safe. That was reported by NBC News. It's that shit that causes the Havana syndrome. And so they've already come out and admitted that they had it. But they came out in 2006 and said they had these directed energy weapons. But now it's 2024 and they call this Havana syndrome, and they want everyone to think that it's Voldemort and his group waving their magic wands and not their toys that they said they had, and they were going to use them on American people to show the rest of the world that they were safe. But that's probably because in 2012, Aaron Alexis, who is known as the shipyard shooter, carved ELF on a rifle before he went into a shipyard and shot and killed a bunch of people. And ELF stood for electric low frequency because they drive people insane. And it causes cancer, and it causes heart attacks, and it causes strokes. And they use it on anybody they want to shut up. That's how it works. That's how it works. And they do it. The stuff that I'm showing, you can go onto my website and see. And I even have the government paperwork going with Doud. And then if you go and start looking at the patents and who owns the patents for all of this, America owns all of them. America has all the patents for this. But it's Russia and China, and America doesn't have these weapons. Even though the Air Force went in 2006 and told Congress they had them in 2006. So, that's... God has protected me with all of this. Because let me tell you, there are some nights that I have prayed for death. I have told God, just let him kill me already. Because the torture that this shit is awful. But you want to know what it has done? It's kept me focused. And it's kept me, I'm very focused. And it irritates the shit out of me. So that even just, I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. It irritates the shit out of me, so I won't stop. Because I'll expose it just to spite them. If they were intelligent, right, real health, lots of water, exercise, focusing on relaxation. Baths help a great deal. I find that hot baths help a lot because they help calm the body down. Because those weapons end up fucking with your nervous system, and it causes terrible anxiety. Terrible anxiety. And again, they said they had him in 2006. Do you really think, and obviously these people are connected to the government. If you go onto my YouTube and look at the post that I just did, you will see them say themselves, Brett Trimble is part of the government. They're all part of the government. That's what protects them. That's what gave Epstein the sweetheart deal that he had. And the only reason they took him out is because people just weren't going to take it anymore. That's what's ended up happening. People are tired of their bullshit. People are tired of their bullshit. And they think that bullying is going to make people cower, and it's not. It doesn't make them cower at all. And then you have people like Daniel Doud, who has a mugshot for fucking molesting a kid, calling himself Chicken Hawk, thinking he's smarter than everybody else. He is the epitome of this group. He is the epitome. When you think of this group, think of Daniel Doud, the Chicken Hawk, with his mugshot for molesting a kid, and he thinks it's a wise idea. He thinks, I don't know what he thinks, because I'm not a pedophile and wouldn't call myself a chicken hawk. So, yeah. And so, well, with that said, I've prayed, and I just hope that all of you, I really just hope that everyone can join together as a group and help stop this. Help stop this. Because in the decades, they'll call me a grifter, but I only started asking for financial stuff, when I got involved with that wide awake nation thing. And but I've been at this for well over a decade. I wasn't asking for any money with my book. I haven't asked for any money with my blog. My blog is not in paid thing. I don't have any paid things on here. You know? But they get paid by the government. They have all kinds of income coming in to harass and do the shit that they do to other people. So they have money coming in, you know? And not to mention the money that they make fucking stealing your kids. You know? That's just, it's... Oh my God. Daniel Doud, you have the mentality. No wonder you're a fucking pedophile, because you think like an idiot, insolent kid. You know? I don't think you think that the pedophilia thing is a wrong thing for you. That's the whole weird part about it. You know? Oh, yeah. I have talked on TikTok about it, and they take down my shit even when I show screenshots because it is misinformation. It's an NBC News article that I just took screenshots of. So I guess NBC News is giving misinformation. You know? Then you put the government paperwork up there and they call that misinformation. But then you have to understand, all of our media is controlled by what? 6 people? 6? It's not like there's a bunch of people who own this shit. It's a handful of people who own all of it, and they control everything. You know, they control everything, and they want to control the narrative. What they can't control is all of your hearts. They can't. And what I've been seeing lately is that everyone's heart is starting to compel them, because lines are being drawn. And if you are a person with them, that's where I stand. And if you're a dickhead that's out there fucking kids and doing all murdering people and all kinds of nasty shit, you're going to go on a live video for 6 hours today and just talk about me the whole time as a group. Even though it's probably not in your best interest to show your hand that you were all a group. Because that's what I've been saying this whole time. And you've all been calling me a liar. And yet today, without a doubt, it was seen. So, you know, but then again, they have this Nazi mentality. Don't believe what you see, don't believe what you hear. And you can tell a lie loud enough and long enough and it becomes the truth. No, it doesn't. It never becomes the truth. Never. Never. You know? And do believe what you see. And do believe what you hear. Believe in yourselves. Because you know, follow your heart. You'll know, you'll feel the answer. You know, if something feels wrong, chances are stop doubting yourself. You know, chances are, that's the thing, that was the key thing. Part of my training, that was a big part of my training. To believe your instincts, to believe it. And so, you know, yes, they're taxing the shit out of us. You know who they don't tax? Billionaires and churches. Isn't it interesting? The ones who have the most money, they don't tax. But in Iowa, next month, anyone who has disability and has to get Medicare payments or Medicaid, it's Medicare, Medicare B, I think. They just took $700 out of my check. So next month I make $500. They did this to thousands of people. The poorest people in Iowa, they did this to. I was not the only one. They did this to tons of people. But then Reynolds is taking all of the money from the public schools and giving it to the private schools. That's their shit. Because they're Nazis and they want a fascist takeover and they think your kids, they're entitled to. They think they're entitled to your kids. and that they can do whatever they want to your kids. I personally believe that if you hurt a child, it's better to tie a millstone around your throat and throw yourself in the fucking ocean and drown yourself. But then that's just me. You know, I believe what we were told. I believe Jesus Christ. I believe in this. I believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ. I believe in the Father. I believe in God. I believe in heaven. You know? No, it just funds all their bullshit. They have an unlimited amount of money. They have an unlimited amount of money. That's why this group is able to do whatever the hell they want, because they have unlimited amount of money. You know, remember that Rumsfeld came out and said that our government had lost $9 trillion a week before 9/11. A week before 9/11, they just lost $9 trillion. If you try to do that on your taxes and see how it works, you know, see how it works. And shit, I still have taxes I have to pay that I don't, you know, I'm going to start doing artwork. So instead of grifting, I'm going to start selling bags and some artwork. So expect in the next few live things, I'm doing stuff that I'm just going to try and sell. But with that said, it's an hour. I do this all the time. I say I'm going to get off here, and then 30 minutes later, I'm still saying I'm going to get off here. Daniel Doud, you can't hide shit. You can't hide shit. You know, you're a fucking dumbass. Go do your drugs. I'll get off here. Try to just stop thinking about me for a little bit. It's not healthy for you, dude. It's not healthy for any of you. Geo Farnsworth, it's not. Get off the fucking computer and go spend time with your children. I mean, I don't think that might be a good thing for them anyway, but you are a parent, you know? Stop obsessing over me. But then if they find out that you two are in my town and you murdered Owen, you'll be going to fucking prison. That's the fucking truth. Oh, well, I only have 10% left on my battery, so with that said, have a great and safe Memorial Day weekend. And remember to say your prayers tonight. Peace, everyone.